empaths, and all the genuine souls. These narcissists depend on our reaction. That's what they depend on. And it's not just romantic relationships when you need to adopt silence, but in all forms of narcissistic relationships, you need to get to the place that you realize you don't need to respond. You don't need to say something. You don't need to do something, right? And the reason for this is because you doing nothing actually affects them, all right? And you see, narcissists can instill fear in you, so you feel like you have to respond. They phone you, they message you, you feel like you have to respond. That's an aspect that is not often talked about. But some of you might still be enmeshed in relationships, friendships, or whatever, where you're under the subject of fear, right? Maybe more physically abusive kind of relationships, right? You're actually under the aspect of fear. That can occur, okay? And really, what is even for that, right? You've got to, the way that they're doing it to you is because they're trying to make you, like, not be able to communicate with others, right? And this can also be in a love kind of aspect as well, where a narcissist kind of puts you in a vulnerable position where you desire to talk, so they pull away. And even if they've pulled away, you've got to understand, in any aspect, the way to defeat a narcissist is to be silent, okay? Even if you're still enmeshed in with them, what I would start to say to do is ignore their calls. Ignore their calls. Don't, ignore their calls. Don't answer their texts, right? Even if you haven't got to the place where you want to change your number or totally, don't always answer it, right? If you're still enmeshed in with them, because this is what I'm saying, there's a lot of you that might still be enmeshed in with them, where you're under the subject of fear, or you feel like you have to talk to them, or you have to tell them where you are, you have to tell them what you're doing. And this is how they take over the life of the chosen one, empath and genuine soul, and you don't really realize your potential, right? It's until you break these chains, and silence is the strategy, okay? Look, I'm not gonna lie, you go through things and they might even try and antagonize you, and you feel like you have to respond or you have to say something. They don't deserve your words. None of these people, alright? My number's been changed. I changed my number. I don't like my phone ringing, okay? There was someone from about 15 years ago that, my dad gave them the number, right? It's happened on a few occasions with a few different friends, toxic friends, and they phoned the phone, and I knew they were going to call, and I thought, forget that, so I blocked or changed the number or done something. I don't like having people having my number. I don't like the phone to ring. I communicate with who I need to communicate with. I use the phone for what, look, I use the phone from aspects of YouTube as well. Like, I use it for reasons. Other than that, I don't really use it like that, And all I'm saying is, they just waste away, They have to, you want to get to a place where you want them to, honestly, they cause so much drama and trouble, and it drives them so crazy that they actually start, especially if you look at the longevity and if that's the right word, the long-term kind of duration of how they start to waste away, and then they start to try to antagonize you and do things from a distance, and even then you've got to remain silent, okay? They try to disrupt your life, and that's why you just need to get to a place where you realize that you want them to be happy, you want them to go on and be happy. That's what you've got to get with all narcissists. You want them to, you all need to get to that place. I know that might be triggering for some of you now, but you really do. You need them to go and find other relationships. You really, really do. Okay? You need them to go and find other people, other suppliers. And the thing is, You know, a lot of you wouldn't even wish this narcissist on your worst enemy. You know, you wouldn't even want this narcissist around, like around someone. You know, it is what it is. So just understand that your silence will antagonize them. It does it does wind them up. It does drive them crazy. Okay. They're not always like, just like the whole relationship. Whenever you was involved with these narcissists, they didn't express themselves. They won't express themselves now. You know, it's all tit for tat. They'll start doing things to get back at you and this and that. Some of them might reach out and try and talk, and when they do, that's when maybe you need that vital sign of when they do reach out and they do try to, and it's not talk. They try to do some bullshit. You know, excuse my language. They try to do some BS. And this is what they do. They'll do fake profiles, all these types of things to try and antagonize you. Weirdos. So it's just block them when the fake profiles come. Block them. Block these people, or you know, just be silent. Change your number. Start a new lease of life. That's what this is all about. The whole experience is for you to start a new lease of life. Okay, you know, the thing is majority of these people out there are toxic, and having a toxic person in your life, basically, you know, it drains you. It really drains you, having these toxic people around you, having these toxic people in your circles, it really drains you. And when you break free from everyone who's toxic, or to the best of your ability, when you break free from them to be toxic, because some of you may have family members that you're enmeshed with, things like that you can't get out of, or friends or whatever, you can't get out of the situation. But it is, yeah, you know, just think about what I said. Some of you might have these relationships where you're enmeshed and you can't get out of, and it's even in those aspects, if they're still in your everyday life, it's best to be silent around them. Don't be reactive. Don't feed them, you know, too much. Try to be as silent as possible. Some of you have children with them, okay, and it's just like grey rocking, you know. It's just grey rocking. Don't just be disinterested with them. You know, I wouldn't advise staying around the vicinity if you've got children in the same house with them, because you can't really co-parent. But you know, silence defeats all of them. They are dependent upon your reaction. They're dependent on what you have to say. They always are and always will be dependent upon what you do and say. So giving them nothing is the way to defeat them. They function off your energy. So giving them no energy absolutely destroys them. So anyway, thanks for listening today. I really appreciate the support. Please book a session if you like to. You're welcome to donate or support to the channel if you want to. Check out the spiritual channel for more content. All links you need are in the description box below. And I'll be back on another video soon. Peace.